Okay, so here we are live for the first video. Wow, this is definitely a new thing for me. I'm used to speaking everywhere, but in front of my phone like this feels a little bit weird. So I want to take some time and I want to tell you something really important about business. And it's an area that so many people fail at. And it really came from a book that I read many, many years ago, which I'll tell you the name of the book at the end of it. And if you do have any questions as you're watching this video, then, feel free to go ahead and actually post them on the video. And if I can get to them, then I'll definitely go ahead and actually reply to you. So what I want to talk about now is where most people fail in business. And it's really, really simple, right? I want you to think about your business and think about every single aspect of your business. The problem is this: when people get into business, they fail to think about everything else, right? It's like, I want to open up let's say it's a coffee shop, for example. So all the time they've been dying to open up this coffee shop. But what they've not done and what they fail to do is to put actual real thought into how that business should run. Now, I know you might go, people are going to come in the store and they're going to go ahead and order a coffee and they're going to do this. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, how do you want your business to greet your customers? How do you want your coffee to be served to the customer? You see, the thing is this: when I go in and I look at buying businesses, one of the things that I do is I sit there and I get this huge sheet of paper and I write down exactly what should the staff look like, what should their uniforms be like, and how should they treat a customer. And I write every single thing down. After I've done that, I go, how should they greet a customer coming in? And then how should they deliver the coffee? How should they go ahead and capture their data? Of which, by the way, do you know that hardly any business captures people's data? Think about this now. Think about all the businesses that you go to. How many people ask for your email address? Hardly any. And if they do ask for your email address, do they even do anything with it? No, they don't. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. However, now is your opportunity to design the business that you want and look at it let's look at it from a fresh perspective. If we were going into that business, how would we run that business? Let me give you an example right now. I'm working on a deal right now of taking over an existing business. Now, I've looked at all the numbers and I've looked at all this and all that, and I can see where growth can go. However, for me to walk into that business and immediately start running that business without a plan would be stupid. Wouldn't you agree? So what I'm sitting here now doing is creating exactly every single point that I want that business to run. Because the problem is that once I get into running the business, then, like most people, you end up running the business instead of working on the business. So now you've got a job. Well, I would like to think that if you're smart enough, you didn't buy a business to get a job. You bought a business to create and generate more income so really you could live the life that you want to live. But then what happened? You got a job. And the reason that you got a job is very simply because you didn't take the time to plan every single area of your business. Now, I'm looking at the list of names that are popping up on my phone here, of which I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's joined. And Carrie, I'm glad that you think this is awesome. But I really appreciate you being here. When I was a kid, and I know there's some people here that I used to go to school with, and I know that some of you know my parents and met my parents. But when I was a kid, my parents really took a lot of time to design their business. Let me rephrase that. How Were our staff meant to look after the customer? What were the rules? Because if there are no rules, well, then you're leaving it open for all kinds of mistakes to happen within your business. And if you do that, honestly, well, then you're just kind of stupid. And I know that's kind of harsh for me to say, but I'm a pretty brutally honest individual. Maybe sometimes a little too brutally honest, but nevertheless, it is what it is. So, if you have a business now, how do you want it to run? How should everybody dress? How should they answer those telephones? And how many rings before they answer the telephone? By the way, the answer to that is 2. Only 2 rings, okay? And then you answer the phone. And when they answer the phone, there should be a script. Now, I'm not saying that people should sound like robots, but what I am saying is this is your business. It's not your staff's business. And the amount of times I walk into businesses and see the staff running the business the way they want to, it's not their business. And it's not their fault. It's the owner of the business's fault. You know, when I was a kid, my dad always used to say to me, at the end of the day, Ian, this falls upon you to make sure that your business is accurate, to make sure that you're running this business correctly. You know, and if there's a mistake, it can only fall upon one person. Even if your member of staff has made the mistake, it has to fall on the business owner. So design that business that you're looking for. What is your follow-up procedure? Do you even have a follow-up procedure? Probably you don't. Do you know why I say that? Because most people don't. What is your follow-up procedure? Close your eyes, imagine it right now. Because let me tell you something about following up with people. Have you ever been in a situation where you've gone to buy something? Maybe it's been a car, for example. And as you've been looking at the car, for some reason or other, you didn't buy it. And it wasn't for the reason of not wanting to buy the car. If you have children, maybe your children took your attention away. Maybe your family or your partner took your attention away. However, you still wanted to buy the car. Now, very rarely do we ever get an individual that ever follows up with us. And yet following up with a client is so crucially important because we're there sitting there going, oh, they don't want to buy. How do we know? How do we know they don't want to buy? Maybe their kid's broken their leg. And the reason they didn't buy is because their child broke their leg, not because they don't want to buy. But it falls upon us and our business to make sure that we're the ones that are looking after those customers. Because, you know, I know this might sound a bit corny, but if we don't look after the customer, you better bloody believe that someone else will look after the customer. And I'll tell you what, if your business is in alignment with my business, watch out, because I'll come and get your customer. Because I have my format and I have everything created exactly how I want my businesses to run. Now, is it by mistake that I did this? No, it's not. I put time and effort and real work. The volume of work that goes on behind the scenes is probably more than the work that goes on that you actually see. But I look at every single aspect of the business. And then when I look at the aspect of the business, I then create the systems and the processes to make sure that that business runs exactly how I want it to run every single time. Now, how do we create a system? This is so stupidly simple, you're going to kick yourself. I want you to think of a system just like baking anything, cooking. You follow a recipe, you follow a plan, a system. Step 1, stick the bloody flour in the pot. Step 2, get some sugar. Now, as you can tell, I don't cook, right? I can't think of anything to come after flour and sugar. Water. Needless to say, don't come to my place when you want to eat. But the point is that when you are baking a cake or a loaf of bread, you do step 1, you do step 2, you do step 3, 4, and 5, and guess what you get at the end of it? Your loaf of bread. Now, When you go into people's businesses, how often are those businesses systemized? Now, a lot of people say to me when I look at people's businesses to buy, they go, oh yeah, it's this business is systemized. I'm like, great, show me the handbook. There's no handbook. There's never a handbook. Why? Because to them, it's more important to get on with running the business than creating the foundation for your business. And once that foundation of your business is created, then you can slowly step back. The problem is people go in and buy a business, and I certainly notice it around the area that I live. People will go in and buy a business. They'll do everything that they can do, what they believe is accurate to run their business, and then they step out. And then guess what? Shit hits the fan. And it hits the fan very simply because the system and the process was not strong enough, if even created at all, to continually run that business when the owner is not there. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at every aspect of your business. Every aspect. Imagine now that this is not your business. How do you want your business to run? Because let me tell you something vitally important. Every single time the customer deals with you, they get an experience. My question to you is this: what type of experience do they get? And are they getting that experience every single time? Think about it this way. You go to a restaurant. 1 minute, the restaurant's great and you've got a great experience. And you tell a friend, you go, come and check this out. Thanks, Len. You say, come and check this out. And you take some people to go to the restaurant, and the next minute, it's crap. And you look like a fool because you've invited people to come and check this restaurant out. But the truth of the matter is, the reason that they've fallen is because they haven't taken the time to systemize their business correctly. And now you have got an experience, a crappy experience. And what's the likelihood of you wanting to go back to that business? You might do, you might not. You might take another chance. And this is why sometimes when you go to businesses, 1 minute it's okay, and the next minute it's crap, and then it's good, and then it's crap, and then it's good, and then it's crap. Purely, very simply, because they haven't taken the time. Hey, Nick, nice to see you, man. It's because they haven't taken the time to look at what systems need to be created within their business and to make sure that the staff abide by those rules. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't control your business, outside forces will control your business. And those outside forces, they can be your staff. How many businesses have you gone to? How many bars, restaurants have you gone to only to see a member of staff texting on their phone, checking out social media? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No way. No way. And the thing is, as a customer, you're sitting there and you're like, are you kidding me right now? This is how you're going to run your business. Maybe the owner is sitting the other side of the bar, doesn't even care. Well, if you're on here right now, and I can see there's a bunch of you on here right now, and I think it's awesome, and I genuinely appreciate you all taking your time to listen to me. Listen, you don't have to listen to me, but I really appreciate that you do, and you have come to me and listened to what I've had to say. You may choose to take what I say. You may say, you know what? It doesn't make any sense to me. But the truth of the matter is this. What experience do they want? Sorry, Nick. Nick just said, stop making sense. I'll do my best to stop making a lot of sense here, people. But the truth of the matter is what experience do you want these people to have? And did you know that when you decide what experience you want them to have, you can actually document that experience and make sure that they get that experience every single time they deal with you. Now, you want to really blow your customers out the water? Every time your customers deal with you, I want you, let me just back up a second. I want you to think about the different ways that customers can deal with you, whether it be through a telephone or an email or social media, or maybe they come to see you, or maybe you go to see them. How do you want them to be treated? And more than that, what experience do you want them to have? Take the time and think about those different areas now and look at, okay, well, if I've got a client coming to see me, let me make that experience of them coming to see me as enjoyable as possible. So let's say, for example, let me give you a great example, right? I think it was last week, I had to go to an appointment at some office in a city near me here. And they were like, come to this building here and we're in suite, I don't know, 203. Well, you walk out the elevator when you get to the second floor and you're like, do I turn left or do I turn right? And now you're thinking, oh my God, I feel totally stupid. So you turn right, walk down the corridor only to realize you should have turned left and walk down the other corridor. Well, now you feel like an idiot. So already the customer has received an experience of feeling utterly uncomfortable. Now, do you want to make your customer feel uncomfortable? My guess is not. So if they are coming to see you, and maybe coming to see you is a little bit more difficult than you've got a huge building right out front with a big walk-off sign saying, here I am. Send them an email and attach a PDF document with a highlighted route of how to find you. How stupidly simple, right? How stupidly, I even messed my hair up when I did that. How stupidly simple, right? All you have to do is say to them, look, here's a PDF document, and I've actually highlighted the exact route of how to find me once you leave the elevator. Bum, bum, bum. As simple as that. It's an absolute nothing of a thing, but it has so much value to these people. And let me ask you a question. What is the likelihood of them wanting to share that positive experience with somebody else? It's huge. Also, what is the likelihood of them wanting to share a crappy experience with somebody else? It's the same, right? So if they're going to share the experience, why don't we get them to share an experience that's going to be hugely beneficial to both them and us as the business owners? Makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, so here's your assignment. Simon, right? You can tell I did a lot of coaching, right? Here's your assignment. I want you to look at every single aspect of your business, from how the customer contacts you, to the customer actually contacting you, all the way through the process, up until the sale. And then I want you to look and actually write down exactly every single step that customer should go through. So if you go away on vacation, if you're a one-man band and it's your business and they're coming to you direct, if you go away on vacation, now your business runs exactly the same way, whether you're there or whether you're not there. You ever been in a situation where your business is running perfectly and then you go away on vacation, you come back and all of a sudden shit's hit the fan? Yeah? I know I did in the early days, and all of a sudden you're constantly putting out fires left, right, and center. Why? Because you didn't, and I didn't, create the system strong enough to make sure that those fires never even happened. Now, sometime, and I know what some of you might be saying, well, what happens if you believe you've covered all areas of your business and made sure that no fires happen, and yet, all of a sudden, a huge fire takes off inside of the business? Well, here's my answer to that. First of all, don't worry about it. Second of all, be grateful that this fire is showing itself to you. And here's why. Because most people shit themselves. You'll never see them. They get scared and they want to hide and run. But what you're going to do is you're going to be, thank you. Thank you so much for showing me something I missed. Right? And that's all it is. It's nothing more than an area in your business that you missed. I always say, look, if you mess up, that's okay. That's okay to mess up. Holy shit. If you'd have known how many times I have messed up, my God, sometimes it's scary. But the truth of the matter is that messing up is really, for me, what I've learned is this. Every time I mess up, it is the universe, listen to this, it is the universe highlighting to you an area that you are underknowledged in. So how do you fix it? Simple. Go and get the knowledge, create the system, fixed. As simple as that. Now, once the system's created, does it mean that everything will run perfect from now on? No, not necessarily, because maybe you missed a step in your system. Maybe you created your 10-step system, but actually missed out step number 3, which was the most important thing. You know, maybe you forgot to put the coffee in the cup, right? So when a mistake happens in your business, now is a great opportunity to go, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you for highlighting that for me. Please don't let it destroy my business. Now let me create the system to make sure that that never happens again. And if that situation doesn't happen again, but something's not quite right within it, we just tweak the system. Look, think about it this way. When you were learning to walk, or if you've got kids and your kids are learning to walk, and they stood up the first time and fell back down, did you turn to them and go, you can't walk, you're an idiot, you're never going to walk, that's it? No, you said, no, get up, get trying again. We don't allow people to fall down, a child to fall down and go, well, that's it, guess what, my child can't walk. We never think that. But yet it's strange that we think that when it comes to our personal lives, business or business lives, right? So the point of it is this. I really want you to focus on exactly what you can do to, 1, create that business exactly how you want that business to run. And then secondly, I want you to look at how the customer flows through the process from the moment that they contact you to the end point that they buy. And I want you to see how many areas that you can look at within your business to create an outstanding level of experience of doing business with you. Then create the systems and lock that system into place and that experience into place. At the end of the day, there are a shitload of other businesses out there that are looking and wanting to take your customers away. How can you build a recession-proof business? You be the best of the best at what you do. You give them outstanding customer service, and you provide an outstanding level of experience of doing business with you. Hi, Amy. My cousin's just popped online. Nice to see you, Ames. Anyway, that's what I want you to look at, is exactly what experience you can lock into place. And let me tell you something. That customer will want to continue to do business with you over and over and over again. It's a bit like when you go to buy something and you buy it off and the person that you buy it from, they're awesome, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I kind of want to buy more from them because the process of doing business with them was highly, highly enjoyable. It makes a lot of sense, right? And we're like, and maybe it was a car and you're like, shit, I kind of wanted to buy another car off them because I love doing business with them, but I can't buy another car off them, right? But maybe you're not selling a high ticket item. Maybe you're selling a low ticket item. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. So look at all of these areas. Anyway, I want to leave you with that, and I want to leave you with this one book that I want you to focus on and read. It's a really simple book. And let me tell you something, if I'm recommending a book, it's got to be pretty simple, right? Because I'm not the greatest book reader in the world. Sorry, but it is what it is. The book which is another Bible of the business, is called Raving Fans. And Raving Fans will teach you about how you can create the ideal business and lock that into place. Okay? So, again, go ahead, sort out and source that book, Raving Fans. The other cool thing about it is this. Like I said, I'm not the most amazing reader of in time. But what I can tell you is this. That book will probably take you half an hour to 40 minutes to read. It's a nothing of a book. And that's reading at my pace. So, maybe for somebody else, maybe 20, 25 minutes. So, and there might even be pictures in it. I love pictures. So anyway, go and source that book out, Raving Fans. If you own a business, it'll be a life changer and a real game changer in your mental approach to your business and to your customers too. Anyway, on Wednesday, we're going to talk about some personal development stuff. And I'm actually going to talk to you about something that my very good friend, Nick Halleck, who's online right now, taught me. Okay. And it was when we were sitting on his island in the Bahamas in 2010, I think it was 2010. And it was something that Nick told me that changed my life. And I want to share that information with you because what you're going to find is this. If you're in an area in your life where, like most of us are, to be honest, or were maybe, where we feel massive instability internally, I'm going to help you get that level of stability and that level of comfort where all of a sudden everything's okay, right? And everything makes sense. Life makes sense. And I know you might be thinking, holy shit, Ian, that's kind of a big comment to make right there. I can promise you it's true. And I can promise you it's true because if it worked for me, it will work for you. I'm no better, no worse, no different. I'm just in a position where I've been able to act as a sponge and soak this information up and also sit on a platform where I'm able to feed this information back out to people like yourselves who genuinely care and genuinely want to make a difference either in their own lives, other people's lives, or maybe just on the planet in general. Anyway, with that being said, I cannot thank you all enough for joining me on this, and I genuinely appreciate your support, especially on my first video. I genuinely appreciate your support, and I hope that you found this information really, really interesting. Anyway, I'll see you, let's go with 6 o'clock on Wednesday for probably some life-changing information. All the best. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.